Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. I told you all I was going to do a follow-up review on the Ezy Rocket Stove when it was 0 degrees outside, and today it is 0 degrees. I don't know if you can see this or not, but it is right on the 0, right? It might be 1 degree. So what I did was I grabbed 32 ounces of water and put it in this pot. I'm going to put it on there with a lid and see how long it'll take for it to boil, or if it even boils. As you can see, I already got the fire started, so we're going to go ahead and put it on here, and I'm going to set my timer on and see how long it's going to take. I went ahead and got the fire started first to try and conserve a little bit of time. But as you can see, that fire is roaring. I cheated today and I used a little bit of fat wood to start it up. So we'll see how this works out. And yes, I forgot to put soap on the outside of the pan, the outside of the pot again. So I'll just end up having to scrub that off. But the outside of this pot has a pretty shiny outside, so it should be easy to take off the soot. But I did put a pretty good amount of fat wood on there. And we'll see what happens as far as how long it takes for it to come to a boil. Like I said, I used 32 ounces of water. And let me give you guys a look around. So this is what it looks like. This is for you all that don't live in an area where snow is very common. Let's see. It's a very nice day outside, actually. It's supposed to be a clear day today. There's a little bit of an overcast, but it's pretty nice outside overall. So, yeah, pretty, it is a little bit chilly, but that's okay. And that thing is roaring away. Let me tell you what, that fat wood burns pretty good. I got a pretty good amount of fat wood. It was, they were selling it at Home Depot today. I had to go into Home Depot to get some more buckets. And I grabbed me a bag for like $5. That's probably a lot. But I don't know how to make my own. If anyone out there knows how to make their own fat wood, let me know. So while that's firing up, let me go ahead and grab some more wood. Throw it in there. I don't want the fire to die down any. And as you can see, I've got this pretty stuffed. You can see how much wood I've got in there. So the fire is pretty roaring, really. While this is cooking, while the water's cooking, I figured I'd take a few minutes just to answer a quick question from one of our community members. I was going to answer it tomorrow, but instead of just letting you guys watch water boil, I figured I'd try to answer a quick question. And it's actually a very good question. So I'm glad this person asked it. And I don't remember exactly who it was that asked the question, but hopefully they're watching this video, or they'll see this video and they'll get a good answer, at least the answer that I have. And if any of you have any better recommendations, please by all means chime in. So the question was that they live in a small apartment and they have a garage, but the garage is not temperature controlled. So in the winter it gets really cold, and in the summer it gets really hot. And they don't have a basement or really enough room in their apartment to store away long-term food storage like rice, beans, wheat berries, things like that, sugar, salt, flour, I believe is the things that they asked about. They don't have enough room in their apartment to store as much as they want to. Now, as we all know, there's a lot of room in a small apartment. You just have to know where to look. However, this community member wants to be able to store more than what they have room to store in their apartment. And the question was, does it matter if you store things in the outside ambient temperature all year long? Meaning, does it matter if it gets warm and cold and freezing and warm and things like that? So I honestly don't know 100%. I do know this. I know that I've been storing some rice that I vacuum sealed about 5 years ago, almost just shy of 5 years ago, and I've been storing it outside the entire time. So it's been at outside temperatures during the warm months here in Alaska and during the cold months. So it's been as cold as -40, and it's been as warm, only as warm as like 65, still less than 70 degrees, because where I've stored it is in the crawl space of my house that still gets just as cold as it is outside. But when it's warm outside, like during the summer months here, it can hit, you know, sometimes 85, 90 degrees sometimes, but not for that long. Under the house, it's still cool because there's no direct sunlight going in there, okay? So I've been storing that rice for almost 5 years. I took a look at it a couple of months ago, and it looked fine. It actually looks good. And I was waiting until I hit the 5-year mark, which is in about another month or so, before I took it out and tried cooking it to see what it was like, see what the quality was. So you'll have to wait about another month or so, and I'm going to do a review of that rice, because it's literally been sitting outside in storage, outside storage, for almost 5 years, just shy of 5 years. Okay, so I think that some things that are foolproof to store outside would be your salt, your sugar. Those things definitely you should be able to store outside no matter what the temperature is, as long as you have them in a sealed container where oxygen cannot get in or out of them. Okay. Also, if I had to store something outside and I wasn't sure because of the temperatures, I would store rice, wheat berries, salt, sugar, not flour. I wouldn't store flour outside. I would try to keep my flour in a controlled environment, in a temperature controlled environment. Okay, but I would have no problem with storing wheat and sugar and salt and even rice and beans. Okay, so that's the best answer that I can give you as far as what things can you store outside. Let me take a quick second, ladies and gentlemen. I think this might be coming to a boil. Oh, wow, look at that. It's boiling. It took 6 minutes. 6.5 minutes, and it's already at a boil. Here we go. I'm not sure if you can see this, ladies and gentlemen, but you see that? So we are at 0 degrees Fahrenheit, and we were able to bring 32 ounces of water to a boil using this rocket stove. Okay, I'm going to take this off the burner now and let that burn out. Just a second. Okay, so that worked out pretty good, and it looks like I used about twice as much more wood as I needed to. So that actually worked out really well. So I apologize for not being able to give a better answer than that. So if someone out there has a better answer than what I just gave as far as storing your foods or what kind of foods you can store outside and not have to worry about the temperatures going up or down, please let us know, because I myself would be very interested if someone knows a good answer to this question. Because there's definitely things that I would like to store outside, because I know I'm going to eventually run out of room. And I personally was thinking that I would be safe with storing rice and beans, wheat berries, salt and sugar outside. So if you think about it though, if you do store those things outside, then it would make a lot more room inside of your home to store other things that you couldn't put outside. So that would be a very good thing to know. So stand by though, because I am going to go ahead and crack that rice open in about another month. So probably about the middle of next month. Oh man, I'll be recovering from my surgery then, but I should be able to still, you know, cook with one arm. So probably around the middle or late January, I should be able to grab that rice that I've stored outside and let you guys see what it looks like after 5 years. And then cook up a batch so that you can see what it looks like, and I'll let you know what it tastes like, if there's any difference in the taste. Maybe I'll have a small small pot of rice that's fresh that I cook and compare it to the rice that I've had stored for a few years, for 5 years. Okay, so stand by for that one. But I thought that was a very good question as far as what kind of things you can store outside during all types of weathers. What I would say also is, and this is all my opinion and just thinking out loud, that if you're going to store things outside, that as long as you keep them in the shade during the summertime, unless you live in an environment where in the summertime it gets like above 80 degrees, you know, I would say even in the shade, your food is going to be above 70 degrees. So the number that I've always heard is not to keep your food above 70 degrees. As long as it's like between 55 degrees and 70, that it should be good for a long-term storage. So, however, I really would like to know what you all think about that, and if any of you have any experience, because I know that the AP community has a lot of experienced preppers out there. Actually, there's several preppers in the AP community that have been prepping a lot longer than me, who have a lot more experience than I do. So if any of you out there know anything about this, please do let us know, because I am extremely curious to see what you guys put in the comments about this. So ladies and gentlemen, this was going to be a very short video. I just wanted to go ahead and illustrate to you how long it would take for this little stove here to bring some water up to a boil in 0-degree temperatures. So I definitely don't want to stay out here too much longer, even though it's not that cold. 0 is not that cold in Alaska. So thank you very much for joining me. And just in case some of you missed it, it was about 6.5 minutes. So I think that's outstanding. And it didn't take that much wood. It did not take that much wood at all. And it's still burning. So I could have probably used about half as much wood that I did. So it took about 6.5 minutes, and we were able to bring up 32 ounces of water to a boil. Now, 32 ounces may not sound like a lot, but 32 ounces will rehydrate a couple of Mountain House meals, because usually one of your bigger Mountain House meals takes up to 2 cups of water. All right, so 32 ounces will definitely take care of a couple of Mountain House meals, and it only took about 6.5 minutes to do it. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, having said that, let me go ahead and sign off. This was just an extra video that I put up today. I will be recording tomorrow's Q&A video later on tonight. I've got a dinner date with my wife and some friends, so I'm going to go ahead and start getting ready for that. By the way, thank you for all of the questions that you guys posted on the question video that I put up. There's a lot of good questions on there, and I can't wait to get into it with you guys tomorrow when we do our live chat. All right, so having said that, thank you all again. I hope you're having a good weekend. Make sure you stay safe out there, okay? So remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. This is Alaska Prepper, and I'm out.